Okay. Well, hello, Taylor. Good to see you again.
Hey, Lauren, good to see you too.
What are some things that happened this past week that you want to check in about?
Uh, kind of same old, like it's just been rough. Just trying to get out of bed and like get things done. I bet my mailman hates me because I really haven't checked my mail in like over a week, and I just keep ordering Uber Eats and I keep saying I'm gonna go to the grocery store in the morning, but it's just been a shit week.
Yeah, it sounds like you've been really struggling to get out of bed. And, I appreciate your concern about your mailman and not getting your mail. And you've been spending and using a lot of Uber Eats, it sounds like. What sort of, what's been causing this?
I don't know. I mean, I like am still looking for a job and I still can't find anything and just no one really understands me and I'm just tired of all this.
Yeah. So you've been looking for a job for a long time and you feel like people don't understand you and you feel tired of this. When you say you feel tired of this, are you having any thoughts of killing yourself?
No, I mean like I've had that in the past and I've tried in the past and it's not that. I just like want a break from like trying so hard.
So you want to break from trying so hard. And so, like, trying so hard to basically participate in life. Does that sound right?
Yeah,
Or just to be happy?
yeah, just like trying to be normal.
Yeah. What do you think normal is?
Mm, I feel like it would be normal to be able to get out of bed in the morning and not get anxiety when I apply for jobs and just be normal and like work and stuff.
So for you, normal is someone that gets out of bed, is able to apply for jobs, and is able to go to work.
Yeah, that sounds normal.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is also very normal for people to have anxiety throughout all those experiences. And it's really common. A lot of people get a lot of anxiety when they apply for jobs too. Um, do you think that, like, what do you use to cope with your anxiety? What sort of things are you using right now?
Well, like in the past, therapists have told me to do like the deep breathing or to try to get to the gym, but I can't even get out of bed. I don't know how I'm supposed to get to the gym.
So, those things in the past, you've said they don't really work for you. That you can't even get out of bed to go to the gym. And then what about the deep breathing?
The breathing's good, but it just is such a short distraction that I feel like
Mhm.
I like forget about it and then I just get like overworked, like worked
Yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah. When you're in, when you're feeling your anxiety and or when you're, not able to get out of bed in the morning, what are some of the thoughts that are coming up in your mind?
Just that I feel like uh kind of like what I said, like I just don't feel like worthy or like I don't feel normal, like I feel like I'm not doing enough.
So some of the thoughts that you think are, I don't feel worthy, you're not doing enough, kind of this general theme of you're not good enough.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. And thoughts can be really powerful. And the funny thing about thoughts is that, some thoughts are really great and meaningful, and then other thoughts are not, and almost they kind of work against us. And our brain, just like our lungs, like has a function. Our lungs breathe constantly, and our brain thinks constantly. And so, have you ever had a moment where you were like aware of your thoughts, like
Uh,
aware you were thinking, like,
I guess not. I don't. I mean, like I recognize my thoughts, but I don't really like. It's just like a feeling, I guess.
Yeah. So what if would you be open to, or we could kind of do this together when you have when you get the feeling, say you're feeling like you can't get out of bed, and then when you feel that feeling, kind of check your, like, what have you been thinking about? Like, just evaluate that. And if it's thoughts of like, I'm worthless and I'm not worthy, what if you flip those thoughts to a positive?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I could try that. I feel like it might be kind of hard, but I can definitely try that. So it's kind of like the positive affirmations everyone talks about.
Yeah, kind of. It's a technique commonly referred to as like challenging negative thoughts.
Okay.
So you want to try it together? Let's try a couple together.
Okay.
So why don't we start with the I'm worthless? How could you challenge that thought?
I don't know. I mean, like if I say like I'm alive.
You're alive, and that's an accomplishment in itself, right? Being alive can be really hard sometimes.
Mhm.
Let's take it a step above, though. What else? What's something good about yourself?
Um, I don't know. I like to draw.
So, would you say that you're a good artist or you're a creative person?
Yeah, yeah. I think I would say like I'm creative, even though I don't show anyone my drawings, but
Yeah. So, that's something that you feel a sense of like pride in and that you like about yourself, it sounds like.
yeah, that's true. Okay. So when I feel worthless, I should kind of maybe I should think about drawing and like the feeling it gives me.
Yeah. Yeah. When you have the thought, I'm worthless, you can think, challenge. So you have the thought and then you challenge it with like, wait a minute, I do have value. I'm a creative person that has that to offer to the world.
Okay. Okay, I like that. I mean, I think that would definitely be helpful.
Yeah. Another way to think of it is the three C's. So catch it, check it, change it.
Catch it, check it, change it. Okay.
So you have the thought, you catch it, like, oh, that's a suspect or a suspicious thought, let's say, and then you check it and you're like, okay, this is in fact unhelpful, and then you change it.
Okay. I like that. The three C's. I can remember that.
Okay, awesome. Is there another? Let's try it one more time.
Okay. Um, let me think. Um, I struggle with applying for jobs. Like I just get so overwhelmed like when I like even if I feel like I never get interviews, but when I do, I like can barely even like think in them.
Okay. So you find yourself kind of freezing in
Yeah.
interviews.
Yeah, that's definitely it. Like I feel like I just freeze and then like I can't think and then I just look stupid and
Yeah. And so in that moment, it sounds like you're feeling a lot of anxiety.
yeah, I
Have
do.
you have you tried like deep breathing in those moments?
Um, I don't think I have tried that.
Yeah. Well, maybe we could try that together. It looks like we're about at time.
Mhm.
So, just to, kind of summarize, we talked about, challenging your negative thoughts and doing some maybe grounding skills when you're feeling anxious.
Yeah, I'm gonna try those three C's. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you for meeting with me.
Good to see you.
Bye, Lauren. Are we stopping?
Is it stuffed?
I don't think so.
It's nice to see you again.
Hey,
How are you
how's it going?
feeling today?
I mean, I'm still just struggling with you know, I guess just a lot of the depression and stuff. It's just hard.
Depression sucks.
Yeah, it does. It it definitely does. I feel like sometimes it's hard to I don't know, talk to people, look people in the eye, you know? Uh Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed. Like I just feel like people are judging me and stuff.
I'm hearing that you're saying that you feel like people are judging you. Is it because you feel they're not looking at you or you can't look at them?
I mean, I feel like, you know, because sometimes I feel like people are like staring at me and I mean, I'm different than other people. I I don't identify in the gender binary and sometimes I just feel that people judge that and I feel like I've been judged my whole life.
I'm hearing that you feel that you're being judged because you don't ascribe to the perceived gender roles of society, and how that really seems to be frustrating you and making you feel self-conscious of the people and how they perceive you.
Yeah, yeah, it does. I do feel self-conscious about that stuff and oftentimes I'll just not go out, I'll just not talk. I just won't talk to people because I'm afraid that they're judging me.
Have you been able to go out in the past week to get anything done that you feel is important?
Uh, I mean, I went out with my mom and I have a neighbor I talk to. I definitely, I got my mail. I got some groceries with my mom. So I did do that, but there's, a lot of stuff I didn't do. Um, and I just feel like I could be healthier. I don't really walk or do anything.
Would going out and walking make you feel better about how you feel inside?
I don't know. I feel like it should. I I just sometimes it's just so paralyzing to walk out the door.
Even when you went walking out with your mom, how did that make you feel when you got groceries?
Anxious, really anxious. I mean, I feel better because, she is like a support person. She's a protector for me. Um, but I still feel really weird. Like, I feel like I just like nobody is gonna like me.
These feelings of being feeling weird, have they been getting worse or have they been getting better in the past week or so?
About the same.
About the same. Would you be open to doing an activity with DBT called opposite action to work on thinking about opposite emotions from what you're feeling?
Yeah, yeah, it's worth a try.
Can you think that sounds great? I would love to do this with you. What is the one emotion that you would like to challenge?
Uh, I mean, I guess my depression, my feeling like I don't want to do anything, or that, I mean, I know something that I think I maybe should challenge is that I think everybody hates me.
Typically, people that are depressed tend to be inactive. From what I've heard from you, is that it's hard for you to get out of the door. But I'm going to ask if we can challenge you by doing something active that you actually enjoy. But it doesn't necessarily have to be like going to the gym.
Yeah, I mean, I'm open.
Do you like to swim?
Yeah, I do like to swim. I did some swimming in high school.
That's awesome. Do you have access to a pool or anywhere near you?
Uh, yeah, I mean, there's a YMCA by my house. I don't really have a membership or anything, but I did hear that they have like a program for low income people because right now I don't have a job, which is the other reason I'm just depressed.
Yeah, let's look into getting the YMCA and also seeing if we can get you into a swimming activity or a different activity once a week.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
how am I gonna get there? Like, I don't. My mom, when I go out, my mom usually is the one that drives me places, and I just feel really weird on the bus.
I understand that could be a really big challenge for you. Let's think of other activities instead. There's yoga, jumping jacks, videos
Yeah,
on YouTube.
yeah, I could maybe look up a yoga video on YouTube.
That sounds perfect. A yoga video on YouTube, maybe once a week for 15 minutes to challenge the thoughts of depression. That way you could be in the privacy of your own home and you can do it on your time.
Yeah, I think I can commit to that. I mean, it's not too much, and I should be able to set aside 15 minutes.
Perfect. I think that sounds great. Is there another feeling that you would also like to challenge with an opposite action?
I mean, my social anxiety.
Social anxiety. I think practicing maintaining eye contact with trusted friends and adults.
Maintaining eye contact?
To deal with those feelings of anxiety that sometimes produce a feeling of shame. Or is it also, it could be anxiety, can be shame, it can be fear, it can be based in retreat. So the opposite of retreating is pushing through in an actionable
Okay.
step.
Yeah, I mean, I could try that with my mom. I mean, she's, the only safe person. I don't think it. I think it'd be like kind of weird with my neighbor, but
I think we're getting somewhere. I think that these ideas can help us brainstorm like what could be comfortable for you and also challenge you in a productive way.
yeah, I'm hopeful. I think I'll try it.
Yes, I think you could try on a at least once a week for maybe a period of 15 minutes or sporadically throughout the week and see how it makes you feel.
Yeah, okay. That I'll try that.
So today we worked about challenging your anxiety and the feelings that come with it, as well as throughout the week, and how we can work on the depression and social anxiety with opposite actions. Thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thanks, Sarah.
Good job. Hi, Taylor. Thank you for coming in today. It's good to see you again.
It's nice to see you too.
How have you been doing this week?
I've been okay. Not like the best. I have my moments where like I have been crying off and on, but then I have better feelings like later in the day. Like I went to my fridge today and I poured out some soup to cook on the stove, and then I was proud of myself for doing that.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad that you did something that made you feel proud. Can you tell me more about what made you upset that you were crying about?
You know, it's just really hard to deal with like feelings of like being still single at 49 and just not having that special person around, because it just makes you feel like there's something wrong with you, and how I want to do different things with my life, and I'm not sure about if if it's the right time.
Yeah. No, that sounds like very overwhelming. It sounds like you're kind of lonely right now.
Yeah, I am really lonely right now. I wish it wasn't the case, but it is right now. Don't know
Yeah.
what to do.
Can you tell me about a time that you didn't feel lonely?
When I get to see my friends, it's really exciting. They've been busy during the holiday season, but I'm still trying to connect. I like seeing my friends at least a couple times, like once a week, maybe 2 times a week if I feel okay.
Yeah, that is a great way to stay connected with friends and talk to them about how you're feeling. It's great to have those supports, and it sounds like you have some good friends from what I hear.
How about like maybe 2 to 3? I can't really go out that much on disability, but they seem to be okay with getting coffee and stuff. Maybe I could try a different activity with them, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know last time we talked about maybe walking more to try to get out of the house more. Maybe your friends would want to walk with you.
Yeah, I don't really like walking by myself, so I would like to walk with other people.
Okay, good. What else has been going on this week that you want to talk about today?
Um, my friends have just been really busy. I want to see them, and my mom's been going through some stuff. She has like a really bad flu right now and might be pneumonia, so I've been worried about her.
I'm sorry, that's scary. That sounds very overwhelming and it's just out of your control. So I understand if you're upset about that.
Yeah, I don't really have a solution, so sometimes I think about it.
Yeah. Hmm. When was the last time like you felt like you had like a good day?
Probably last week before my mom got sick, and then me and my friend got to go to Starbucks. That was really fun because it within my budget, and Starbucks isn't too far away, so I can go there. I can just walk up there, and it feels it feels good.
Good. That's great. I'm glad that you know what works for you and what makes you feel better. I'm sorry about your mom, but I know it is out of your control. Um, but I want you to focus on making sure that you feel okay and while also trying to support your mom.
Hmm.
Um, and I kind of wanted to ask you a question if you're okay with that.
Yes.
So it is a strange question. Suppose that while you're sleeping tonight, and the entire house is quiet, a miracle happens. And that miracle is that the problem which you brought here that you wanted to talk about today. So, kind of like how you said, feel lonely and overwhelmed and just depressed. And But let's say that miracle is that the problem which you want solved. However, because you are sleeping, you don't know the miracle has happened. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, what will be different? And that will tell you that the miracle has happened and that your problem has been solved.
I'm able to connect with my friends on a more frequent basis, and we are able to walk together at least a couple times a week, and I get to do something happy to help distract from being sad. And it works, and it's something that works.
Good. That sounds like a great plan. I mean, or you're able to identify what makes you happier and makes you feel better. Do you want to talk a bit about maybe putting some of those things in place when you are feeling overwhelmed?
Yes, I would like that a lot.
Okay. I know you said you love like meeting up with your friends, but if you are having like a rough day and just feeling down, do you ever call your friends to try to just talk to them or distract you?
Yeah, I like to call them when they're not busy. Usually it's after 5 p.m. because then they're free that time. They all go to work.
Okay. Okay, good. I mean, that's good. And then I'm sure maybe, I don't know your friends' schedules, but maybe you can text them while they are at work or talk to your mom.
Yeah, I try to talk to her at least like once a day. I try to call her in the morning to see if she's good for the day or if I can do anything. If I feel tired, sometimes I can't go to her house, so I get her a DoorDash for lunch.
That's very nice of you. Sounds like you have a good support system, Taylor. Um, so, other than what we talked about so far, do you think there are other things in your life that have been working for when you are feeling overwhelmed?
My painting.
Painting, okay. How do you feel when you are painting?
I feel distracted and focused on my
Okay.
painting, and I like to make all the colors go together into whether it be a tree or a leaf, something outside.
Nice. Do you like nature?
Yeah, it makes me smile a lot because it's just there.
Good. That's good to hear. And it sounds like painting is a good release for you to get some of those negative kind of emotions out.
Yeah, and I can do it whenever I want to because I'm just at my house.
That's amazing. That sounds like a great thing that you can do maybe during the day while your friends are working, and then you can always talk to them after work.
And I put on my music while I'm painting, and then I can plug my phone in, so I have my music always with me.
Oh, good. Okay. So you like to listen to music as well, kind of help you like relax or maybe distract you?
Yeah, I tend to play only happy music when I'm doing my painting, so I can try to focus on what ideas come in my head, or I look outside and I try to compare which one I like the best, which painting I like the best.
Good. That sounds like a great technique. I mean, I like that you listen to happy music. It kind of helps get you in that mood. And it sounds like you have a lot of things that do kind of help you. I know they're kind of hard to identify in the moment, but what we talked about so far is like when you are feeling depressed or overwhelmed, you will call a friend or you'll walk with a friend. I like that you got your mom lunch, so you like to spend time with her, and that you like to paint and listen to cheerful music.
Yes, it makes me very optimistic.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me today. I really appreciate you coming in, and we'll keep focusing on those strengths.
Thank you so much.
Okay. It's still. Hey. Woo, we did it.
We did it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think.
it's loading good.
Great time to yawn. Carly, I think that you were very like pleasant, and you have like a warm, you know, kind of like welcoming, gentle sense about you, which is nice. You did, I noticed you doing reflection and active listening. You did a lot of like validation. You linked like something that Sarah said to like the last time, kind of like brought that together. You did the miracle question, of course.
I tried. I stumbled over it a bit, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think you did great. I mean, you highlighted positive coping skills, and just like kind of tried to, I feel like in general, like highlight positive attributes about Taylor. So it overall, it felt like a very like cheerful interaction.
Great, thank you. I was really going for that like strength-based, solution-based kind of technique.
Yeah.
So I was trying to like stick to the positives and not dwell on the negatives, but still like acknowledge them. So it was definitely different than anything I've done before. But no, I think that was an interesting technique to like try to play out. So yeah. But yeah, I think you did a great job. You're very like casual in your responses, and I mean that in like a good thing. Like you seem to like know what to say next, and yeah, I feel like everyone did kind of hit the oars well, and I know it feels weird jumping into a fifth session when we weren't there for the first four, but
I think I really struggled with mine because I was trying to remember the things from the first session, while at the same time being more natural in my approach without having to reflect the oars the whole time and more focusing on the active listening portion. Because I remember from my feedback from the last time, I was so focused on oars going back between the letters that I forgot my listening skills. So I really honed in on that this time and not making assumptions about how the person feels, because I did that last time. I didn't mean to, but it happened. So I kind of picked up on how the patient was feeling frustrated by their facial demeanor as well as what they were telling me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody did a really good job. I really like Lauren seems really natural at it, and she somehow has became more natural at it. And Carly, you seemed less nervous this time. It seems like you're able to get more of your, what is it called? Your feng shui into the session. You're bringing more of your personality into the session in an authentic way.
oh, thanks. I'm still very nervous.
Me too.
But thank you. Yeah, Sarah, I think you did a great job at like reflective listening too, because you did like you were able to be like, oh, I hear you're feeling this, like, and then like kind of expand on that. So I think that was definitely good. I wish I watched our last one before this just to like compare on the.
Yeah. That would have been a good thing. It just like the idea of watching it, like, I don't know, watching myself, like it kind of makes me like, I'm like, oh,
I know.
But yeah, that would have been a good idea. It would be interesting too, maybe if we have the stomach for it, to watch all of them when we're done with the class and see like how we progressed. But yeah, I mean, I like both of you have said, I kind of echo those sentiments that you know, Carly, you like I mentioned, you definitely felt more relaxed this time, I think, and Sarah as well. And Sarah, I really appreciated like your attention to, you know, trying to find an intervention and like practice that, and you know, having that focus. And I think that for a minute, because I was kind of trying to channel my inner like depressed angsty client, and then so I was like going deep into that because I guess that's easy for me to access, and and then I'm like, wait, I don't know if I'm giving her enough here to like intervene on and stuff. So I mean, there was definitely stuff to intervene on, but I know I wanted to be able to like not make it overly difficult where I'm just not responding to anything. So yeah, that was also.
I didn't find on the website the opposite of anxiety, so I tried to think of what anxiety can bring, like maybe feelings of shame, fear, closed off. So trying to be the opposite, I guess, of closed off and shy, I guess I was trying to think of. So what I was like, oh, then social anxiety, how could, like, eye contact, we could try that for social anxiety. Like, what if we try it with someone trusted and then we can branch off into someone that may be new, even like at the grocery store, and be like, hi to the person. I was trying to think of that type of thing.
Yeah. No, that's true. That is a good one. I haven't really like thought of that one for social anxiety, but that is like, I feel like that's something I struggle with, even just like making like eye contact and stuff. But yeah, I thought you were really good with pulling up like different ways for Taylor/Lauren to kind of like put those into place.
Yeah, because if somebody who doesn't like to go, if somebody liked to go swimming in high school, there might be a small doubt of them trying to go again when they're very depressed. So I was like trying to think of something you could do from your house, because like I was like yoga, videos, weights, yoga. Yoga is very calming.
Yeah, yoga is often a good thing to do. I think also I really liked how you connected it to like a frequency. So like once a week, and it was time bound for like 15 minutes. That was really nice. I think like Carly said, I think the eye contact one, I was like, that's unique. And for a second I felt like that maybe that might be a little intimidating for someone, but actually, if it is somebody that's trusted, there is like an exercise where you stare into their eyes and it like creates warm feelings and stuff. So I think that could be, connectedness, feelings of connectedness. So that could be cool. I feel like I think my area of challenge was like at the end when Sarah was giving me the time, and then all of a sudden it's like, 2 minutes. And then we were like, I'm starting a whole new intervention about the anxiety. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, bye.
You're like, wait, we're going to simmer this. Yeah. No, I know. It's definitely like awkward not knowing. And then you're just like, okay, I need to wrap this up.
Yeah. That was definitely really hard and like didn't feel natural. So I don't know if we're supposed to plan for that part and like do that, or if we're just supposed to end like when it ends. But I guess a question for Professor Corona.
That's true. Yeah. I was focused so much on trying to be like not laughing and smiling because I really get nervous in front of cameras. But
yeah.
So I was trying to like sit back and my best to be angsty, but yeah, no, I thought you did a really good job. At first I was like, oh, I don't want to give her too much information. So then I was trying to be really difficult, and then I was like, maybe I need to answer things clear. But no, you were really like slowly kind of picking things up, and it was definitely like very good. Like it felt natural and it didn't feel like you were like pushing me as a client. So overall, I think everything
I was trying, I did struggle a little bit, like trying to make sure that I was actively listening while conveying less of a flat aspect, because sometimes my face goes flat when I'm giving a lot of energy to focusing on the individual, because I'm in my serious, I'm a therapist mode, and I have to be helpful in that way. I don't think it comes off as the authentic self as much as I'd like to be, but I think my hat's still on.
I think that, it's somebody told this to me like years, like when I first, because I used to, or initially when I started working in the field, it was as a substance abuse counselor. And I remember I had a supervisor tell me after I ran a group, they were like, you sounded like a robot. And I was like initially horrified. And then they were
Yeah.
like, just talk to them like they're humans. We're all humans. And that actually has been like one piece of feedback that's been really, really helpful is just like, we're all humans. Just like talk like we're humans. Like, yes, we got to have those boundaries and like of, not dual relationships and things like that. But like, once you remove the mystique of it, of like, oh, I got to be like in therapist mode and just be like, this is a human. I'm just being a human. Then that like kind of flat roboticness like seemed to float away. At least that helped me, I think. I hope.
Oh, definitely. I did hear like sometimes like you can disclose a little bit about who you are through like what you're wearing. So I was thinking like maybe I can just like be like peppy in how I wear, or like my facial expressions. Like you could still be like a happy person in the therapy settings as long as it's not like too overbearing for the client. I guess you could still greet them with a smile and everything. You don't have to be blank faced the entire time. I try to work with that. Like what you, I guess, kind of helps you present as a happy person if you feel confident in it. I hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I have the opposite problem. My face is very expressive.
Yeah, mine too.
There's times at like my work where I've had to like bite my tongue to not like smile or something when it's not appropriate, because I just am like, also, yeah, I get nervous and then I make the face that doesn't make sense. So I understand sometimes. And then also when you're like trying to do the therapy hat, like you want so badly to like separate, and you don't want to cross any boundaries, and you want to like make sure you're doing things right, that sometimes like I feel myself like drift too much, and I'm like too focused on it. So I like what you said, Lauren, about like being like, nope, they're people, like talk through it. If you slip up, you can always like fix yourself and at least like acknowledge it. Don't just be like, oh, that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Just acknowledge it. Like, again, it's a human. We're just humans.
This type of therapy is so different than how I talk with my friends when I give them advice, because sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, me too. And then I'll share about a shared experience. And with the client, I can't do that. So I have to derive generalized statements of anxiety and depression without over assuming that that's how they feel. Or I have to kind of guess, like from what they're saying, it's like, wow, that sounds really hard for you. I imagine that you might be feeling this way, but I'm like, wait, don't do that. You're assuming.
Yeah.
I think there is like a type of intervention where I think it's called like an interpretation, where you do make a assumption of how they're feeling, but based on what they're saying or presenting. But like you get, I'm sure Professor Corona can again shed some light on that one at some point, I'm sure, in one of our classes. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, there is something like that, where you would posit like, is this how you're feeling? But again, the right time and all that. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think my other area, like thinking of where I could improve, is when we did like the little SI assessment, like your response was like, yeah, you're not, like, I feel like if that was like in real life, I would need to dive a little deeper to like assess for like your means and, do you have a plan and like the full thing. And I feel like we just kind of like glossed over it. So I think
part of that too is like I shut you down because I was like, I mean, I guess you still have to ask the questions, but I never said that. But yeah, I kind of shut it down because I remember like last time, like I didn't want to run out of time for that like thing and stuff. And then also I was like,
no, and I appreciated that part too, because I was like, oh shoot, we're gonna get like go off and off on this. So like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like harder to focus on like a strategy if you need to do that assessment, because you need to ask those like clear questions. Because that was something last time like I did. She was like, "Why did you cut it short?" And I was like, "I ran out of time." She was like,
I remember, I don't think that my client gave off the impression that they were about to self-harm, but that would have been a good question to ask because of how depressed they were. But it sounded like the client was making small wins. So I was like, okay, that's good. But sometimes I guess in the real client world, the client can't hide that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing that I was kind of more focused on this time, but I just realized, I don't think I said it, was she said in her comments to me. I should have maybe just read her comments, but I just remember this one. It was like, she's like, why don't you just say, like, can you emphasize that, or like, can you expand on that or something, like, instead of like just kind of like letting it die off, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that is really good feedback. And a way to get like more information and stuff, you know. I feel like that's an area I can grow in as well, as just like, well, mainly the open-ended questions. Like even after like being in the field for a few years now, I still like struggle with the open-ended questions.
It's hard to think of them on the spot.
Yeah.
But we are good on time.
Perfect.
Before we end the recording, Professor Corona, I'm sorry I have loud roommates. Hope it didn't distract the assignment.
Oh, and there's so